Yeah. All right. Hello, my name is Robert Lookingbill. I was born 7/22/65, and I have a scheduled date death in January 22nd of 2003. In regards to leaving this world behind, which is, I think, the hardest thing for me most of all, is that, I'm leaving behind people I care about and I love a lot. Goes without saying. How it's going to affect them has been on my mind for quite some time, though I haven't thought about it, much in the past. It's a reality that it's going to, eventually be faced, should the court system, not come through with everything. But I would miss them. I would definitely miss them, and, I hope, if it comes to that there is another life after this. I believe that, though. But leaving them behind by themselves, with them being out there by themselves and not being able to take care of themselves, that's the hardest thing mostly, because, here it is, if something happens to them, there's no way that you can take care of them or take them to the, people that need to take care of them if something bad happens, you have this, sense of hopelessness, and your hands tied, and you hope nothing happens out there, because you're not there to at least care for them to the extent that you would if you were out there with them. The pain that I feel now was basically is leaving them behind, not being able to I guess in a dead person's perspective, I would say that I won't be able to get the letters from them anymore, or get to speak with them over a phone, or get to visit with them, things that are meaningful from this side of the walls. It's going to be a hard thing to see them leave here, hurting, because it's definitely going to hurt them, and that in turn is going to hurt me, because I know they're feeling pain. It's not that I can't feel them, because I do. Even in some of the recent executions, it bothers you. It does hurt. It does hurt you, because you come to love people no matter where you're at. Just because somebody has done a crime, it doesn't mean that they stop feeling. You still you have feelings for your family and loved ones and things. Oh yeah, there ain't no doubt about it. Yeah, even though I'm facing death, I still have feelings. Sure, I have feelings for my family and the friends and the pain that they're going to suffer. If they're suffering, I'm going to be suffering too, because I feel that from them. I know I'll be able to see it, and I see it in their eyes every time I come across them or write a letter. I see how they worry about my situation and what I'm facing. And that in turn kind of, reminds me of what I'm facing too, even though I'm trying to forget about it and think positive about, some changes in the future that would keep us together, and that's what's, most important, is being alive for them, because they love me and I love them, and that's just, a bond you can't never break or forget about. Just because a man's on death row doesn't mean he doesn't have feelings, or doesn't have people that care for him. They do. Ooh, well, if I had a eulogy, if I had something to say to the world, that I would, if it was something to the whole world, I would ask them to learn forgiveness better, to reconsider the things that are going on out of hatred, because hatred clouds the mind, clouds the thinking in the way that we perceive things, and the way we, decide things. way this system is going now, a lot of times it's out of pure hate and vengeance that these sentences are carried out, you know, losing focus of what evidence shows a man's innocence and things of nature. You know, I can give plenty examples of that just by, you know, the case laws and things that I've read over the years and the people I've known that had actual innocence claims that were executed anyway, despite some of the overwhelming evidence of their innocence. And I would, you know, would hope that the world would learn to love better than what is going on now, instead of it's like I say, it's a hard thing to do. I mean, to think about, you know, stepping in the backside of that van and leaving everybody behind that you're going to. It's not going to be an easy thing, and I know it's. You know, I've thought about it myself, and it's a very lonely feeling. It's like when the reality of it hits, and I know it's going to eventually if it turns out that way. Right. You know, the reality of it is going to be one of a feeling of loneliness. You feel like you're the only one in the whole world, you know, that's going through this, and it's like your existence has been meaningless, you know, and it's hard to accept that you're being labeled an individual that doesn't have feelings, doesn't have any meaning for anybody in this life, and that couldn't be more contrary to the truth. You know, and I think that's another hard thing to come to terms with is, you know, the fact that we become, you know, a useless individual when we know different. You know, you feel like you're being, you know, being as a child when you don't know how to swim and somebody is pushing you closer to that water. You know you can't swim, and that fear overcomes you. It's indescribable fear. You know, you try not to think about it, even though you know it's coming.